week, Watchdog goes in search of the most coveted award in the film industry, the Oscar. To people in films, whether they're technicians, writers, producers or directors, this is the ultimate accolade. But sadly, the Oscar we want doesn't belong to us. It was awarded more than 30 years ago to a film directed by an Englishman, Terry Bishop. It was about life in eastern Nigeria before independence, and it was called Daybreak in Udi. Daybreak in Udi was made by Crown Films, which in 1949 was the government's official film company. The Oscar was flown to London, and Terry Bishop was allowed to keep it in his home for a weekend. And that was the last time he saw it. Around 1950, Crown Films closed down, swallowed into the Central Office of Information. The Oscar, consequently, disappeared somewhere into government bureaucracy. Terry Bishop made some inquiries about the Oscar, but somehow got the impression that he would never see it again. So he wrote to Watchdog, "Can you find my Oscar after 30 years? Well, we couldn't resist the challenge and joined Terry Bishop on location.
This is where it all began 30 years ago. From these studios at Beaconsfield, Terry Bishop was dispatched to eastern Nigeria to direct the Oscar-winning documentary Daybreak in Udi. Although he went on to direct hundreds of films for the cinema and television, it's that particular film he remembers with most pride.
It's awfully difficult to explain if you're not a film technician. Although, for, shall we say, a man who makes beautiful cut glass, if he gets an award from his fellow cut glass makers, he's terrifically proud of it and would remain proud of it. And the same thing applies to films. One is proud of an award which is given by one's fellow technicians.
Looking for his Oscar 30 years later seemed a daunting task for Terry Bishop. There'd be a lot of walking the streets. It could be in any one of hundreds of government buildings. And inquiries through friends in the film industry brought discouraging replies. Did the Oscar really belong to him? And why was it so important after all these years? And the Central Office of Information have hundreds of awards, some kept at their headquarters in London, others farmed out to agencies all over the country. The search seemed hopeless and forlorn. Then, late one evening, the call came through. Try the offices of Anvil Films at Denham, just outside London. And there it was, even though the people at Anvil weren't sure why, and cared even less. As far as they were concerned, it had turned up out of the blue about 10 years ago, and could disappear just as quickly. No one would mind. And so it was left to Watchdog to carry out the world's most unusual and informal Oscar ceremony.
There it is. Pick it up, help yourself.
It's a bit heavier than I thought. What the hell can you say?
How do you feel about it?
Pretty choked.
So Terry Bishop was reunited with the Oscar, but the question remained, could he keep it? We asked the Central Office of Information, and they replied,
"Sorry, it's government property."
"Have a heart. Everyone else connected with the film is either dead or doesn't care."
Oh, all right, as it's a special case, we'll let him have it, on loan.